Hello, everyone. This is Tom, and welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper channel for Dukes Ahead Friday Night Live, where we are going to go to the land of Oz tonight. Figure I decide I want to make one a little bit of humorous, throw in some serious satire, but a little bit of humor tonight, okay? A little bit of YouTube stuff. Channel's still growing. I hope everybody's enjoying the shorts. I tell you what, these Democrat liberal communists are just making it so easy to come up with material. Hey Carol, how you doing tonight? So easy to come up with material. I mean, if I was an actual comedian, I would get on YouTube and I'd have you guys rolling on the floor. But I'm not even as good as Trump is, so he sure had a good time at that dinner last night, didn't they? Yeah, Kamala's thing. I didn't understand that one. But anyway, the channel's growing. YouTube is definitely shadow banning me, though, which I don't understand how it's growing because you can go through my videos and you notice how it gets so many views at first and it shuts down. Like I say, I know what my channel is capable of. Before all this algorithm really started kicking in, my peak was 5,605 views in 1 hour, and that was on one video. That's what happens on my channel when the algorithm falls asleep, and I got like 10 subscribers in that hour and a half. Crazy, huh? But whatever. All these people will be held accountable for censoring people and shadow banning channels. I mean, there's nothing saying you have to listen to it, but I have the right to say it. And when YouTube becomes part of Town Square, I have the right to say it. There's one thing that I'm hearing about other creators that I mentioned about a while ago, that this other pandemic that may be coming. Because on YouTube, I don't care what your creator are, how big you are as a creator. If you say anything against what the WHO and the pharmaceutical companies say, YouTube just gets rid of the material if they don't give you a strike too. Now I realize that the pharmaceutical companies give a lot of revenue to YouTube with ads, but I just don't feel that's all it, because I mean they snap at it right away. They let a lot of stuff slide YouTube wouldn't let you talk about, but you bring up anything with the pharmaceutical companies or the health situation in the world, and you give your opinion, even if some doctor would agree with you, medical field, especially in YouTube, nobody's allowed a second opinion. All right? Got to go by what the WHO and the pharmaceutical companies say. Just remember that. They got your best interests in mind. That's why they're exempt from taking their vaccines, right? Anyway, let's get into the subject. Welcome to Oz. Let's kind of look at this. If they redid the Wizard of Oz in a SNL skit, kind of say using our political figures as characters. Okay, so we got this normal guy. Well, let's say me. All right, and my house gets picked up and spun around, and all of a sudden through the clouds, and I see this person on a broom that's supposed to be a bad person and stuff. And just everything's fine. Stuff is not right, right? That's on boom, it's over with. The sudden stop. I like on the movie how they went from black and white to color there. By the way, and then you open that door and you're like looking around. Everything's colorful. Everything looks nice and safe, you know. And then the people start coming out, and you notice things aren't normal. These aren't the same type of people that used to inhabit where you used to live. They're different. They got colored hair and boys think they're girls and girls think they're boys, and you know, the men are running around breastfeeding children, and you're kind of scratching your head, thinking, yeah, I'm not can't or Nebraska anymore. Hmm. That twister must have really took me for a ride, right? Then you have this person come up to you. They say they're mate, and I get to now. You can add who you want as the characters in this, but I'm gonna put my people. Okay, so you got the mayor of Munchkin Village comes up to you. Okay, Joe Biden, mayor of Munchkin City in the county of the land of Oz. You know, Joe Biden standing in front of you. Is kind of looking lost, and the old Joe Biden thing and stuff, and maybe trying to touch your hair or something like that. And then you're kind of getting a little nervous and stuff. This ain't feeling so right. And then all of a sudden, this glow comes. This like wonderful new thing, this beautiful thing that's supposed to be so great for everything comes down and appears in front of you. Anybody guess who it is? That'd be Kamala Harris. Whoo! The beautiful witch Kamala Harris. Oh yeah. The goodness in Oz. Kamala Harris. So she's sitting there talking to you and stuff. And you say, I'd really like to go home. Saying, I'd really like to get out of here. This ain't quite my place and stuff. She goes, no, 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 no. You don't understand Oz yet. You got to follow this yellow brick road to the city of Oz, the capital of Oz, the great Emerald City. But you have to take this yellow road. And you're like, well, that don't make no sense. It look like you got magic. Why can't you just send me home now? No, you got to go down this yellow road. The yellow road of communism. You get it? The yellow road of communism. Got to follow that road so you can understand Oz. During that road, we can re-educate you. You don't really understand what's going on. So you follow that yellow brick road, that road of communism, and you're going to see sights and you're going to find stuff that'll will re-educate you in what's really right in this world. Then you're like, is this the only way I can get out of here? Is I got to go down this yellow brick road? And see, okay. And they're all happy and singing as you're going out the city, Munchkinville, and you head it down and start seeing cornfields. You don't see no vehicles or people yet, but there's some things that look kind of familiar. Okay, like when I I can only express this as not as bad, but when I first got out of the Marine Corps and I first actually came home again as a civilian, the the feeling I got, like I went through a time warp anyway. And I went in during Reagan and got out during Clinton. So don't even you just imagine what I saw. I was like in the outside the bubble looking in. It was strange. But anyway, okay, we'll get back to the story. You liking my story? I like my story, okay. So we're going down the yellow brick road. Yeah, okay, it's the way out of here. And you come up to these cornfields, all of a sudden you see this scarecrow. And the scarecrow, and you start seeing these schools and stuff. Okay, must be where they educate the people here and stuff. Well, on that post, the scarecrow up jumps down. Guess who jumps down? Guess who the scarecrow is? Carol, come on, get into this. The scarecrow jumps down. Okay, it's Tim Walz. No brains. No brains, Tim Walz, in charge of the school system there in Minnesota and stuff. And here where I live now, where people just hate him. I mean, let me tell you one thing. To meet somebody if you're talking about a candidate and stuff and they don't like them, neither one of you know them, that's one thing. But to talk to somebody who knows them personally and what comes out of their mouth about that person is a totally different experience. I never had that happen to me before, but that's what I'm dealing with. But anyway, Tim Walz. We'll get back to Tim Walz. So he jumps on, I got no brains. Hell, one school in my state, it's got 50 languages being spoken in a town of about 7,000. If Worthington's even that big, I guess I should have checked. I just, I've been through there. It's just really spread out. Carol, I'm sorry, I've got a nasty head cold, but I'm listening. Okay, that's fine. I know I'm kind of getting sick too. Better be sick now and get over it than have to be sick after November 6th, 5th. That's all I got to say. By the way, Tim Walz jumps down. He's a scarecrow. I have no brains, but he's running the school system. And you're like looking at these children, and you're like, boy, they're looking like those people in Munchkin Village. They're all kind of trying to mutate themselves or something. I don't know what it is. But then I got this guy in charge of Scarecrow in charge of the school, and he's telling me about how it's so great to have tampons in the boys' bathroom. Now I'm sitting there, wow, I'm really scratching my head here. We got a Scarecrow that doesn't have brains, is in charge of teaching the children. He's got tampons in the school's bathroom. And we're not going to talk about his little dance with the leather uniform on. And all the other stuff I heard about him around here. Like, oh, I'm liking this education system. This is looking good. Wow. I really think I've gone off in the deep end. Okay? Anyway, he's telling me he wants to come with me. Because I tell him I'm going to the Emerald City because I got this wizard or somebody who can help send me home, right? So I'm talking to this guy, and I realize he's a complete fruitcake. But, I decide stupidly to bring him with. I figure it's better that the kids don't have to endure him, and I'll endure him. Maybe the kids can turn around. Just imagine if the kids didn't have to endure that Scarecrow who wants to put tampons in boys' bathrooms and doesn't even know what his military career was, obviously, and, was in China in Tiananmen Square after, whatever. He's a knucklehead. He even said it. He's a self-proclaimed knucklehead. So I decided to bring this knucklehead Scarecrow with me because I decided I would save the children from him. Okay? All right. So we're going down. I got this guy with no brains with me who's a self-proclaimed knucklehead. I'm just loving this, and we're just getting started. So we're going down the yellow brick road. And all of a sudden, it starts getting, instead of cornfields and stuff like in Nebraska here, we start getting into the trees more and stuff. And we get there, and there's this tin thing sitting next to a tree. Really? We go up to it, it's telling us to oil it. All right? So, we're doing what we're supposed to. We're doing because we have a heart. We want to have this thing be able to function. We have this heart. We have compassion, empathy for this person, this tin man. Okay? Get them all moving. And what do we hear right away? We get to hear the tolerant, empathetic Hillary Clinton. What do you think of that one, Carol? Hillary Clinton is a heartless tin man. It's either that or Nancy Pelosi, but Hillary Clinton's really been shooting her mouth off lately, so she got the nod. Say I should be put in jail because of my opinion and fined and everything taken from me and re-educated and stuff. I mean, how much heartless more do you get than that? What she's done to people. Definitely Hillary, yep. Arkansas. There's so much truth that can come out about these people, but she's out there flattening her jibs. Because I know when they try to steal the election, they're going to put her in the administration somewhere. That's why she's out flapping her jibs. If she gets president, we'll have Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and Liz Cheney, all in the same administration. Can anybody say a guy don't have a chance? Just saying. But yeah, that's the Tin Man, the heartless Tin Man, who just hates the whole world unless she can control it. Okay. Yeah, but that heartless witch, we sat there and got her up, and the first thing she's doing, you need to be shut up because you don't agree with me. Huh? I think to myself, do I really want to take this? But then I see the tree over there wink at me. I say, oh, the tree's got to deal with this goofy witch. Huh? What am I going to save the land of Oz here? What do I got to do? So, I decide, what the heck? We'll bring her with. Can't get much worse, can it? Nope, I don't see how it can't get much worse. Then we start off again. All of a sudden, these two are like bickering like a couple children in the back seat of the car. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Bickering about picking on each other back and forth. You're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. That's what I was dealing with. Like having to deal with my kids back there. I'm like, okay, so I hurried up the pace, try to get them moving a little fast, maybe shut them up, get them to behave if they'd follow me. Because that's the thing. They followed. Great. Because they had no mind of their own to direct themselves. So they were good followers. Irritating, but they followed. Not that I'd trust them with anything, but they could follow me like a dog followed me, okay? Not a problem. So I'm speeding it up because I really want to get there because I think I have done worse than the Twilight Zone. I got to be dreaming. Then we come into a darker forest, and all of a sudden, I hear and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow are like, ah! I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And this thing jumps out, trying to scare me when I know it's got its tail between its legs when it's doing it. Kind of like a beta male. I'm like, are you kidding me? Get away from me. Starts crying like a little wimp. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is what this country is full of? Now the king of the beasts is nothing but a wimp? Beta male city, you can't believe. Who is the no courage lion? We'll say Merrick Garland. Yes. The Department of Justice, Attorney General Merrick Garland, who sends the FBI and ATF hit squads out to shoot Americans down at 6 o'clock in the morning with no-knock raids. Those cowards. Okay? Yeah, Merrick Garland gets that ching. Anyway, so, I put him in his place real quick, bowed down to me, which these people will. Just another thing. This is a parable in a way, too. These sons of bitches have no backbone. They have no courage. They're yellow-bellied. Well, the only way they'll come after you if it's 100 against 1. If it's 50 against 25, they'll never even try it. Okay? So the Cowardly Lion got put in his place. Like, I don't have time for this. I'm a Marine, buddy. Get away from me. You're bothering me. He starts crying and stuff. Then those other two clacking hens back there start telling what we're doing because I really want to leave this guy. I mean, a coward I know as a Marine can do nothing except get you killed, all right? They start cackling, and he starts, my empathy, my heart, and these morons, they know how to use it. And the Cowardly Lion wants to go to get some courage. Okay. And I know the only way you're going to get courage is if you stand up to what scares you. Okay. That's one thing. If I fear something, I achieve it. I conquer it. I do whatever I fear. You know, I go and do it, so I don't fear it no more. I hate the feeling. It's not fear. It's just, fear doesn't make me run. Make fear, like if I got a wild horse I get on, and I may be a little apprehensive, I go and get on it right away because that's the only way to get over the apprehension. That's it. To go and do it. You got to live life. But anyway, so let's get back to the story. So now I got Merrick Garland, Hillary Clinton, and Tim Walz with me. And I'm having a great old time. And then I keep hearing about this other part of the land, this other country on the other, way far away, this mystical place where people, people are smart and, they don't have tampons in the boys' bathrooms and, they have, people look like regular people and, not everything is tolerated unless you want to do it in your own bedroom or your own house. But you go out in public, you're a little more, people are a little bit more normal. Okay? Keep hearing about that. I just in the back of my mind, I keep hearing about that. It's like, oh, that must be an okay place and stuff. Anyway, so we're going to the Emerald City. Then we see it. No, it looks great. All colorful and lit up and, from a distance. But then you start getting closer and be like, this looks like the pictures of the streets of San Francisco I saw. Boy, they can hide it from a distance, but when you start to get close and you're stepping over the needles and the despair, the epitome there, wow. But the city itself, the walls and stuff, they're all, it looks like a nice city. This is on the outside as you're walking in. This ain't the green zone, as you might say. So you're observing that not only are they uneducated, are heartless, and are completely spineless, but they're in complete despair. Okay? But you go through it. It's hard to watch. And these other ones, I'm observing everything, and the other three knuckleheads that are with me are just, like a bunch of kids in the back seat. Never look out the windows. Either got your mug in your, they're facing their phone or they're talking to each other. So we get up to the door. They didn't know anything as we walk through there. Okay? Knock, knock, knock. And then, the guy comes, what do you want? Well, I was told by Kamala Harris, the nice witch and beautiful, wonderful witch, that I was supposed to come here to see the wizards so I could get home. All right. And they let me in. And I go in there and it's like magnificent. It's like I walk through a completely different country. It was, the people were still kind of freaky. The horses were even different color, which was kind of cool to see. And they pampered you and, got you feeling all good and stuff. Because, the wizard was just making their lives so great. They didn't see outside the door why their lives were great. The sacrifice on the other people's backs. Okay? So they're pampering us and stuff. And, my three guys, people with me, the Tin Man, Tim Walz, the Scarecrow, Tim Walz, the Tin Man, Hillary Clinton, and the Lion, Merrick Garland, they're just having a great old time. Like I say, they walked through that whole thing, didn't see a dang thing. They just saw, wow, they opened Emerald City. Oh my goodness, the greatness of Oz. So they get done paying for us, trying to get us into the right mood to meet the wizard, right? So we go down the long hall. They let us in. We go in front of this spectacular display. Fire, this, that, and the other thing. And, I want to go home. But I tell him, I was sent here by the witch, Kamala Harris. Can you please send me home? He goes, no, first, you got to help us. You got to help us spread the deceit on our social media platforms. If you help us spread the deceit about what's going on, about how we can push our agenda. If you can help us with that, that's what we need you to do. Because there's rumors of this great man that wants to free everybody. And yes, we want to make you free, but no, if you would just help us and believe like us, you went through Oz, you saw it all. And you're standing there like, this person's got to be out of his mind. Okay, but there's something weird about this, right? And you're looking around, it's like a stage type of deal. But there's definitely activity in this one part of the stage. And as you're talking, you go over there, and like everybody knows, you pull the curtain, and who's behind that curtain? Barack Obama. Now, obviously, at that point, I realize I'm not going home, and I'm headed to the dungeons. When the safest thing when I got to Oz would have been go to that magic, instead of going to the Emerald City, would have been going off to the further land that was the freedom area, the peace area, by that, man who dodges bullets. But this is the world we live in. Tim Walz running the education system in the whole state after he ruined it in Alliance. People here don't like him. Okay? Kamala as trying to portray her as something she's not. Like you say, every time she opens her mouth, she loses hundreds of thousands of votes. Okay? You got Joe Biden, mayor of Munchkin City, lost. Put out the pasture, basically. All these old Democrats need to be put out the pasture. The ones running it. The old Democrats need to take their party back. So the Wizard of Oz, the land of Oz, turns a little bit more normal like Oz again. I just can't believe we live in this age where this is actually happening, where they expect us to swallow the stuff that the mainstream media is kicking out. Like they have absolutely no bias. I mean, Kamala Harris didn't even show up at that Catholic dinner last night. It gave Trump the full platform. Yeah, she sent out a stupid skit that made absolutely no sense. But, it wasn't even Trump. It was the guy who headed it, his speech at first. And he was supposed to be a Trump hater at one time. Maybe he is. Maybe he still is. But, he got iced. Just like they did at Fox, show up 15 minutes late. We wouldn't show up for these people. I guess we got to come to the point where do we think that they're going to do whatever it takes to retain power? All right. I don't know. Are the Democrat Party really willing to turn the earth. It's going to affect the whole world when we go into this war. You understand that, right? Every country that's invested in dollars is going to be worried out of their minds. It's going to affect the whole world. But are they willing to throw the whole world into that type of chaos to maintain power? I don't know. Ask the devil. I would hope that, especially after Bill Clinton saying that Athens girl, Riley, what was her name? Her last name was Riley. That would have happened if the immigrants would have been properly vetted. Okay? Throwing her under the bus. Not throwing her under the bus, is telling the truth. But Joe, that was also your policy. And maybe Bill and Obama, you should have got together with them and say, hey, you guys need to secure the border. I would assume that a president's best advisor would be somebody who had been president before. Wouldn't that make sense? Then Bill, not only you could have told him to close the border, but you could have told him what you were told. It's the economy, stupid. Anyway. But these are the people we got in charge. The election is not going good for the Democrats. So why should it? What American value do they got on their platform anymore? They don't even have God in their platform anymore. But what American trait, value, or part of our culture do they got in there? America is not based on freebies, not based on somebody going to work and somebody getting a freebie. Okay? And that's when that happens, you got somebody, because somebody's got to pay for it. And the guy paying for it are the people lined up along the road going into the Emerald City. Okay? In the Egyptian days, I don't know if you people know this, but the grave robbers of the pharaoh's tombs were the people who built the tombs, because they had built the city out in the desert that housed out, I think it was up to 60,000 people that just built the tombs, okay? And they stopped paying them. So they go, fine, we'll just rob the tombs. We built them. That's who your tomb robbers were, the people they got ripped off for building them. This thing, mankind has not changed over millennials. The core human being is still the same. An evil human being 4,000 years ago did the same thing, just didn't have the technology that an evil human being does now. Now, when I traveled the world, I found out that the core human being is the same. Cultures are different, but the core human being, you have different sectors of every culture. Okay, I'm a blue-collar worker. I go to work, get dirty, come home, shower and stuff, and I enjoy that life. I'm not chasing the dollar bill. But, everybody's got their spot. So this is the situation we're in now. I know we got, 18 days, going on 17 days, and we got the election. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Now they got that DOD directive where the military can assist federal, state, and local officials, law enforcement, if they need to, and use deadly force. And like you say, and what weapons? There's nothing saying they got to stop at a certain type of weapon, certain size of caliber, or they're not allowed to use machine guns, or nothing like that. Like say you're gonna have tanks rolling down the street, you're gonna have another Tiananmen Square. This is how far it's gotten. I mean, we're past the Twilight Zone. We're past the Land of Oz. And then they want to sit there and make it sound like she's got a chance. She's a communist. Even if they were to sit there and get, let's say, legitimately win, we still need to Rise up. The Constitution is not a communist document. We cannot be communist. The founding fathers didn't want social services, okay? They didn't want that type of garbage. It's amazing how things change over years and years, or it just gets watered down. We turn into a democracy. So, as long as 50% of the legislature thinks it's okay and the Constitution says it's not okay, as long as 51% of us agree it's okay, that old relic piece of paper can go away. How are we going to get our country back? We need to go back to the framers of our Constitution. I don't want to get into that spiel, but anyway, this is my little trip down the yellow brick road today. The yellow brick road of communism. Okay, and they can sit there and send me down that yellow brick road 1,000 times. I could never be re-educated into believing that stuff. I'm not going to be like John Candy and volunteers and say, I could never be brainwashed and then standing there, the perfect communist. Take a bullet first, because I couldn't be happy as a communist. And another thing as a communist, what would we be doing? I'd be doing all the goddamn work while they're getting all the benefits. Somebody be having to run to the doctor, kind of like it is now. Anyway, well, Carol, I'm glad you were here. I see I got 4 other people here. I don't know exactly who's here, but I'm going to call it a night. I want to make it a short night and stuff. I'm kind of tired. But yeah, living in Oz. And we're going to see in 18 more days if we're going to get worse than things are, or, well, it's going to get worse. But one way it's going to get worse and just keep getting worse. One way it may get a little hectic for a while, but that's what's going to take to get our country back. So I hope everybody enjoyed my little rendition of The Wizard of Oz. It's all fitting. The man behind the curtain, of course, is Barack Obama. So I can't believe they didn't find some way to run him again. Maybe they will in 2028. They'll find some loophole where they can run him again somehow. Anyway, but I hope everybody has a good night. I hope everybody's enjoying my thought of the day. In a couple weeks, few weeks, I may not even be on YouTube no more. There may be a lot of stuff going down. I just want everybody to prepare for the worst possible scenario. If you're listening to me now and you've been here the whole time I've been talking, okay, you obviously want to be on the other side. I mean, a lot of these people are gonna die real quick. We worry about Iran and Iraq, Iran and Israel, and that ain't gonna close down our grocery stores or gas stations or stop our trucks in this country. Now, Russia starts hitting us with nukes, yeah, that'll stop it. Or China or North Korea. But that's slim compared to the chance of total chaos we're going to have here in a few weeks that will shut everything down. And if you're in a blue city, it's not even going to be safe to be in your house. And then they call out the military. And then we got tanks in the streets. We got checkpoints everywhere. And like I say, they got all these plans already done. All they got to do is give the word and the units move. Okay? Active military, not National Guard. And let me tell you something, there's a difference. And the average civilian will understand what the difference is real quick. Like active duty, we train for war every day, not 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks a year. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. But anyway, hope everybody enjoyed my little Wizard of Oz thing, but just trying to make a little humor out of this. Anyway, everybody have a good night. This is Lone Wolf Prepper out.